Nate Sexton has passed the torch on to me, and it is my duty as a fellow Nate to now begin the new cash streak. Now at this current rate, by the age of 65, I should be able to be tied with him, but you gotta start somewhere. So the Arkansas State Championship was this weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. I recorded all of round 1, some of round 2 due to a storm, and then nothing of round 3, but kind of walk you guys through it, and yeah, we'll start on hole 1.
Tees in the Trees Championship Disc Golf Course out here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Starting off on hole 4, 285 feet. I'm going with my Prodigy A2. Just hanging a forehand out over the pond around these trees and then having the disc stall back. It's a pretty good shot to start off the day, giving myself about a 15-footer. However, nerves are definitely noticeable in that first putt, but taking my par, moving on to the next hole, hole 5, 405 feet. It's a turnover shot around these trees, so I'm going with my S-Line DD3. However, I throw it more like a finesse shot than I do an actual committed power shot. So it stalls out, lands about 200 feet away from the pin, so I'm approaching with my Envy, just sneaking it up there, taking the par, moving on to the next hole. Hole 6, 330 feet. Just a elevated basket out in the middle of this fairway. I'm going with my Discmania C-Line FD3. Another forehand, low. Just having the disc work to the right. It digs in very nice. These are the best putts because I don't actually have to putt. So easy birdie, moving on to hole 7. 260 feet, same exact disc. Basically the same power shot too. I'm just throwing this a little higher. Trying to get this up and around the tree, and back-to-back park jobs with the FD3. Hole 8, par 5, 820 feet. This is definitely an eagle opportunity. Going with my S-Line DD3. I meant to hyzer flip this, but it just kind of came out of my hand flat. Once that thing starts turning, it's not coming back, so off to the right side. From here, I'm just going with my prototype DD3, very overstable forehand. Just pitching it out there, not doing anything stupid. This is a very easy hole. There's really no reason to take a 5 on this, so.
Get up.
Taking the easy birdie, moving on to hole 9. 450 feet, par 4, basically 200 feet uphill and then 250 feet to the right. However, I smacked this tree. I don't even make it out of the gap. And I'm worried that I went OB. There is a cart path to the right. Shout out to Caleb for caddying me for this weekend. Dude's awesome. He helped me out so much in this first day. So I've got a right to left wind here, throwing the FD3. I did not account for the uphill. I was hoping that the right to left wind would actually keep my disc straight. But me throwing uphill, the disc is going to be more overstable, so another tree kick. However, I pitch up with the A2, tap in for the par, and then we move on to hole 10. So this hole is straight downhill, double mando staring you right in the face. I am not messing with it whatsoever, so I like to go with a little forehand roller action. Definitely not the smart play, but you make the mando. I'll let Caleb take care of the rest of this.
Somewhere in there throwing. I have no clue what he's gonna do. Let's hope it's good. Oh, dude. Oh, I don't even think I caught it, but that would have been so good if it didn't hit that last little tree.
I will never be going forehand roller off that hole again. Being off the fairway is definitely not worth it. I had a little scuba pitch out here. I thought I overdid it and went back off the fairway again. But once I came out and I saw that I was on the edge of this, I was so happy, and I just knew that I was going to make this putt.
Yes, sir.
On to hole 11, 230 feet, the only wooded hole on the course. Just a straight shot with a mando right in your face. Got very lucky, missed the tree. Sets me up with about a 50-footer.
Oh.
I definitely thought that was in out of the hand. I was surprised that it hit the cage, but oh well. Moving on to hole 12, 675 feet, par 4. Prototype DD3, just punching that thing out there on the forehand, out in the middle of the fairway. I think I clocked this at about 286 feet. There is a little bit uphill. We had a tailwind. I meant to get this a lot higher. I was doing a standstill shot with my FD3. About 30 short, a little bit uphill and a tailwind, so I just kept telling myself, aim for the band, go higher than you think. Snag the birdie. I am now sitting at 5 down. So I'm feeling pretty good heading into this hole. I'm going for my very overstable Envy. Brought those trees a little bit more into play than I had anticipated, but it fought through. From the tee, I thought I was sitting under the basket, but I had this sneaky little 20-foot putt with the left to right wind. Didn't stick it. I wouldn't call it a spit out. On some other baskets, I definitely think that would have caught, but I missed where I was aiming, so took the par, moving on to hole 14, 255 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Please. Oh, girl, nice. Yes,
Definitely surprised I did not take off rolling down the hill. That was my proxy that I threw, by the way, loving it. Somehow snuck in that putt, but hey, we're all good. Moving on to hole 15, 270 feet. I'm going with my proxy again. Nothing crazy about this hole, however, making it more difficult than it needed to be. Grip locked it, hit the tree. Wanted to give this a soft little bid. Almost regretted it, but it sat down, took the par, heading into hole 16. 200 feet. The only danger is there's a creek left, so I'm going with my Proton Envy. Again, I send this out more wide than I want. That's back-to-back grip locks. I'm not happy about it. Edge of circle putt. It felt nice out of the hand. I did not really sit flat, however. So a little bit of hyzer, hits that left side. Hole 17. This hole says it is 315 feet, but this is the farthest 315-foot hole I've ever played. I am going big hyzer with my C-Line DD3, but in times past, I've gone straight at the basket with my Mako 3, and every time I'm like 30 short. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's some low-key, crazy elevation, but that's not a good feeling. It is so annoying hitting the band on a basket that does not even have a band. Not fun. On to this demon of a hole, hole 18, par 5, 630 feet, but plays closer to about half a mile because it's so uphill. Going with my S-Line DD3, just punching that thing out there as far as I can. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not sure if it's rolling or not, but I got the distance far enough. C-Line DD3, it feels like I'm throwing straight uphill. There's a cart path OB left and the natural OB to the right. I ended up in a pretty decent spot. This was about a 40-footer uphill. Did not commit. I was not happy about that, but takes the easy birdie, wrapping back down to hole 1, downhill 440 feet. OB cart path to the left. Another grip lock. I literally grabbed my camera after this and looked at my phone like, what in the world is going on? I don't know why I kept grip locking everything, but pitching up at the A2. Yep. It was a little cheeky of an approach because I couldn't see the basket and I know a hill was involved, but we take our par, hole 2, 240 feet, OB cart path left, and then a sneaky little creek in the middle. Yep. Loved it out of my hand. Ooh. Smacked a little branch. Oh, yeah. Thought I was out of bounds. However, I got a very good break with this 20-footer. Did not take advantage of it whatsoever. This is definitely one of the most awkward things in disc golf when it's your turn to putt and then you just airball it and now it's your turn to putt again. Like that's never a good feeling, but especially when you dink it off the cage and then you can't pick up your mini because you're so mad. I'm telling you right now, if I could tell you the things that were going on in my head at this moment, this video would be demonetized. So the final hole of round 1, hole 3, 570-foot par 4. We had a sneaky headwind, so I grabbed my most overstable disc, punched out on the Kevin Jones hyzer. No chance of this thing going out of bounds. A very stock hyzer shot into the green and another grip lock. I'm not happy about this at all. I was only 300 feet away. And then no way to run it. I was about circle 2. This tree was perfectly in the way. Did my best at trying to give it a run, but it's whatever. Take the par. Finishing the round at 5 down. So I'm 6 strokes off the lead, hanging out at the very bottom of the scorecard. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually use statistics on UDisc, but we can clearly see 65% in C1 and 0% in C2 is not going to cut it. So if I want any chance to make cash at this event, I'm going to have to change that. So hole 5, 300 feet. Throw in my proxy. The rain has officially come. Shout out to Caleb again. He knew the rain was going to be here, and he still chose to come out. Caddy for your boy. Took a par on 5, heading into hole 6. Straight grip lock on the C-line FD3. Pitch up, take the par, hole 7. Now I'm going with my Proto DD3, another forehand, and again another grip lock. I was worried about not having any grip in the rain. Turns out I had entirely too much grip. But I took the par, hole 8, A2, just a short little 270-foot hole. Slipped on the tee pad, threw that straight in the air, and put it under the basket. So can't be too upset about it. Skip it a few holes, a lot of pars, you're not missing anything crazy. Weird footing on these tee pads. Everything is so wet. Hole 12, 324 feet. I want to be honest with you guys. I was aiming for that middle gap, but I didn't want to let my card mates know. They thought I did that on purpose, so you just kind of ride the wave.
Let's go. It's about time, Nate. It's about time you make a circle 2. He even called it. He said, I'm gonna make a circle 2.
Felt good hitting that circle 2 putt. Hole 13, 240 feet. A2 out wide. Felt great out of the hand. It's only 240 feet, but I was about 25-ish short. One thing that we got to talk about, why am I standing on my tippy toes? That has got to be why I miss low all the time. I'm on my tippy toes. I need to be on the heels, chest flat, but still got the birdie. Hole 14, A2. I was a little upset about it. I loved the line. It flipped up to flat. Carried a little too far. Doesn't matter, though. I straight up airballed my putt, airballed it back over, took the bogey. So what was a birdie putt had then turned into a bogey. Angry heading into hole 15, 300 feet, throwing my envy.
Nice.
Put it next to the pin, got the birdie, bounced back. Couple more pars on 16 and 17. 18, 305 feet, C-line FD3. This disc was just money that weekend. I mean, it seemed like anytime I threw it, it was great. Got the birdie on 18, and then we have 4 holes left to play, and this is exactly what happened on every single one of those holes. I had a circle 2 look that would skip off the top of the cage.
Bozo boy again. Hit the
I couldn't help but be a little frustrated, but so another 5 down rounds, slowly climbing that leaderboard though. I'm still tied for 9th, but I'm working my way up the leaderboard. 80% C1, 14% C2, heading into the final round.
So heading into Sunday, the final round, we were supposed to tee off at 10:30, but we actually had to back it up to 8:30 due to the weather. And unfortunately, I didn't have Caleb with me, so I didn't want to have to hold my bag and umbrella and the tripod, so I chose to leave you guys behind. I am very sorry, but I guarantee you I would not have shot the round I did had I had you guys with me, so it is what it is. Whew. So I'm starting off the round tied for 9th place. I'm just a couple strokes off of making cash, which that was the goal. That was all I was thinking about. First place, I felt was kind of out of it for me. I was teeing off 3 the same hole that I was started on in round 1. So I was feeling, that felt pretty nice. It felt very familiar. I was like, okay, cool. Let's correct from all of our mistakes that we made in the first round and let's shoot a hot round. So of course I started off forehanding the A2, and this time instead of dinking a 15-footer, I dinked like a 35-footer. I still wanted to start off with that birdie, start off hot, but I wasn't too upset with missing a circle 2. I parred the next hole and then birdied the next 3 just like I did in the round 1, except then I got hole 9 as well. So I was already starting off 1 stroke better than how I was doing in round 1. The only difference though is in round 1, 2 of those birdies were actually tap-ins, whereas in round 3, 20 to 25 footers. So I was actually making those, and that's a game changer because that's the only thing that's what's stopping me from having like a great round is missing those 15 footers to like 20 footers. And the fact that I was making those, I was like, oh, okay. That gave me all the momentum I needed. Sheesh. And then we get to the double Mando hole. I managed to save par just like I did in round 1, but then the only tight wooded fairway hole, I took the first bogey of the round. I hit the first tree available, kicked me off the fairway, tried to get myself a look at par, ended up having about an 80-footer, missed that, took my bogey, moved on to the next hole. I did not let the bogey phase me though. I kept my head strong, moved on to the next hole and birdied it. Don't eat trash. Not only did I birdie the next hole to get the bounce back percentage, but I went on to birdie 3 more holes after that and was sitting 7 down through 14. And again, out of those 8 total birdies, 1 of them was a park job. Everything else was inside the circle, 25, 20 footers. It was the first time this entire season where it genuinely felt like I was just playing disc golf. But then fast forward immediately to the next hole, hole 16. It's a 200-foot shot. I left it about 30 short and then dinked my putt off the cage. Kind of bummed me out. I had a nice little birdie train going. Then I decided to check scores and I saw that I was 2 back off the lead and the lead guy was on my card. Nobody was really tearing it up. The Chase card was actually doing pretty hot, which literally gave me goosebumps. I got so excited. We step up to hole 17. The guy in first place throws his shot out of bounds. I throw the big hyzer. I'm about 30 feet right of the pin, hit it dead center. I now took a 2-stroke lead and I'm tied for first place. Comeback season, baby. Basically, that's what I was thinking. And then I got greedy. Ooh, could that do it? Nope. Yeah, I got greedy. Hole 18, the par 5, that's crazy uphill. I wanted to go for the eagle. Smashed it as hard as I could up that hill, ended up going OB left. What a bummer. I was able to save par on the hole, but me parring that hole basically took me out of getting first place. The guys on lead card still had tons of easy holes to play. I knew I needed to get that eagle. I didn't. So at that point, I was just playing for nice position. We then loop back all the way to hole 1 where we play holes 1, 2, and 3. Hole 1's very dangerous. I played it only for par. Getting a bogey on that hole was entirely too easy. I was not messing around with that. Played it very safe. Hole 2, I step up, put it literally under the pin, tapping for my birdie. I checked the scores. I'm sitting tied for 4th place at that time. 1 hole left to play. Kind of the highlight of the day, honestly, just as far as like a mental win. It's a par 4, first shot lanes out in the fairway. Shank my second shot. Now I've got about a 45, 50 foot circle 2 putt uphill with the backstop behind the basket. So it's free game, don't leave it short. That's what I was telling myself. Literally all that was going on in my head was don't leave it short, don't leave it short, don't leave it short. I left it short. As soon as I smack the cage, I turn around like, you idiot, why'd you leave it short? And then I look back, the thing is rolling right back towards my feet. So quickly I was like, okay, hey, you're not mad anymore. Like everything's fine, you're good. I was breathing. I stepped away from my putt like twice. I was like, we're all good, get that heart rate down. Step back up, dead center of the basket, save the par, ended on a great circle 2 putt. I was happy. I was also happy the fact that I had a horrendous first round. I mean, literally second to last place. Mediocre second round, and then shooting the hot round of the 3rd round and finished 4th place, 5 strokes back to the lead. That was a big confidence booster. Tons of momentum heading into my next tournament. My next tournament is actually gonna be at Persimmon Ridge, July 8th, Beat the Heat. If you guys are out there, I'll be there. If anybody wants to caddy for me, please let me know. I would love to have somebody operate the camera for me so that I don't have to sit here and talk about the final round, the best round. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, let me know.